unedited, tell the truth, and shame the devil. I love being black. All right, all right, all right. Again, another night, another night. Missed you guys last night, but I did go live last night. Come on in. We got another part two of Miss D. She rocked the house the first day that we had her on. That was part one. And come on in, people. Come on in. I'm going to acknowledge a few people so we can get the rolling. This is live, uncut, unedited. We're going to take calls at the end. So do not call in. We're not taking any calls until we finish. Then we'll accept some calls. Period. That's how this gonna work tonight. So we're just gonna speak the truth and shame the devil. All right. All right. I see you guys. Come on in. Come on in. Bless you, maid. All right. Was that Lupia? Lupia. I don't know how to pronounce that. Don't beat me up. All right, come on in, people. This live uncut.
You already know what it is.
Come on, so we can get
Live,
started.
Uncut.
We don't want to be on here all
Tell the
night.
truth.
It's
And
7:42.
shame the devil.
Make sure you guys
I love being
share it in your page, in your groups. Cassandra Clark, I see you. Jules Smith, I see you. Shirley Lindsay. Hey, Shirley, how you doing? All right. All right. Karen, what's going on? I see you. I see you. We back again. I tell you, come on in. It's going to be live, uncut, and unedited, people. Let me put my phone on silent so we won't have no disturbance. Put it on do not disturb and text your friend. Call somebody and let them know to listen. We're going to tell the truth. What's up, Rhonda? What's up, Rhonda? I see you. Black power to your sister, Christina Riley. Hey, Miss Christina. Christina, I see you. I see you. I see you. All right. Katie Brown, I see you. All right. Who else I see there? I missed that. Kennard Johnson. What's up, Mr. Kennard Johnson? Y'all come on in tonight. We finna have it going on. We live, people. Live, uncut, unedited. Come on here so we can tell the truth and shame the devil. All right. We got Miss D on the live feed and she's ready. She's ready. She's ready. She's ready. I'm telling you, live, uncut, unedited. Katie Brown again. Come on in, people. Y'all coming in strong tonight. But when I get to talking about the relationships and that male and female stuff, boy, y'all come on in. I tell you, if I gave y'all some information how to get out of debt, I wouldn't have but two people on here, and that's a shame. That is a shame. That is a crime shame. That is a crime shame, people. It shouldn't be like that. Come on in, people. Come on in. This is live, uncut, unedited. This is where we tell the truth and shame the devil. I love being black.
Tell the truth and shame the devil. I love being black.
Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Is that Miss Raven Harris? Hey, Miss Raven. Leslie Brown. What's up, Leslie? Okay, you said I am the photographer who took the pictures at Ooh-Wee. Okay. Okay. Kennard Johnson. All right. Raven Harris. All right. Katie Brown. I
love being black.
That's right. Y'all know how to get my attention, don't you? Y'all know how to get my attention. We got a guest. She's waiting on me, and I'm waiting on y'all. So come on in. Come on in. This is live, uncut, unedited. I want y'all to. Now we're not taking no questions until the end. Mel Adams, what's up? What's going, Jules Smith? I love being black. So, all right, we're gonna get started, people. I think we got enough people on here. Let me look at these numbers. Yeah, I think we got enough people. 48 people on one page. We can get started. You know, it take a little while for us to kick in. You know how it goes. A little while for it to kick in and get warm up. So, Miss D, you're gonna warm us up tonight, and we talk about healing, right?
Yeah, we're talking about, I think in the process of healing, we just really having a great conversation and dialect about You'll ask me a question and I'll answer it front. Well, this is intergenerational.
Mhm.
Um, and I think it's important that different generations get to share in conversation and dialect. But it also shows appreciation to old school that we've been listening. We heard a lot of what our parents told us, and I like just regurgitating that back to, um, our old school to let them know we listen too. But we also evolve in some of those ways with the new school.
Right.
So.
So I'm considered old school, right? That's right.
I am too, though. I may be younger, but I still feel like, my culture and the way I move is real old school and like an old soul. So I don't necessarily think when I say that it has anything to do with age. It's just more about tradition and culture.
Okay, hey man, I'm glad to be the age I am. Listen, ain't no shame in my
Yeah,
game because I know a lot of my buddies they didn't make it to my age. I'm telling you, when I
a
tell the
lot of
truth. So, um, where we want to start? Where we want to pick up? We talked about so much, and we left a lot of grounds uncut. We didn't tread a lot of grounds. We did. I'm trying to figure out where should we start at. All right. Well, let me ask you a question. Now,
uh-huh.
we were talking about, well, I did say initially, you don't hear females talking about their dad. And one thing I notice about you, you always talk about your dad. You always. And we want to start right there. We're going to start right there. We're going to talk about uh, your dad and tell my audience about the relationship that you have with your dad. We're going to start right
Okay.
there first.
Sure. That's right of my dad. I think far too many times when, we hear, because my mom though too. So, let me start that. Like my mom, that's my right hand man, that's my best friend. But my dad, that's my everything too, and the reason that, I have the grace and the love, I always say this, and the patience for black men that I have is because of my relationship with my dad. My dad is the pillar of superhero to me. I never thought that any man was stronger than my daddy, and still to this day, in my 30s, my dad is my go-to source of reason when it comes to what I need to find out about men and how to respectfully and gracefully move within the room with you guys. Since I was a baby, I watched my dad be this imperfect, perfect being. And I think far too many times, in relationships as children, we look at the relationship of our parents and we use that as how we get our relationship with our parents. But I was taught that my dad was put in my life solely for that, and that was to be my father. And that's the way I began to learn to love him. And that was him being the father for me. So I got to see, my dad go through a lot, just throughout my years. And I remember things that my dad would fight for, relationships and things that my dad would fight for as a black man, go through the court system. He's not perfect, and I'm saying that because a lot of people think when we boast on our fathers that we don't understand that they come with a fault. My dad was far from perfect in this regular world. But when it came to him and that title of dad and father, I go to earth fighting for my dad for him to get that title because he is the best dad in the world to me. And I watched how the world continued to beat my dad down and him still have equal love um, for me and just for other children that I grew up with. My dad wasn't just, a father figure to me, but I have friends that, reach out to me and tell me, what role my dad played in their life as well. Because my dad didn't just, raise me up, but he raised, a community, all the kids in my neighborhood, my father. And even if he wasn't, their biological father, my dad still played a role in so many children's lives. I didn't know that as a kid because I was living and playing with those kids older. And I would thank my dad. One day I put a post up and thank my dad for just being an amazing dad to me. And to see all of these young men come and say, man, I remember your dad pulled me to the side. and he changed my perspective on things, man. He really stepped up. And, I didn't have my dad in my life, but I could go to your daddy and he'd give me that advice. You know, I just I like to uplift my dad because, women get it by default in this world because they carry the child, and that's not to take away from them, but it definitely shouldn't take away from the love and encouragement and the pedestals we put our fathers on because I love my daddy and I spoil him, as often as I can, and remind him that it was his teaching that raised the beautiful daughter that the world gets to experience, and I'm grateful because, me on my block, I may have been the only one, maybe one or two or three of us that had our dad, in the household. And I see how differently, that plays a role in the way that the women experience this world. And Nettie, I'm so sorry for the loss of your father because, I don't wish that on my worst enemy. That's my best friend. And I'm not prepared for that. I've watched friends of mine, bury their father, and it really put me in tune with being grateful for mine, even with their flaws. Because if we dig deep enough with our dads and we realize the traumas that they've went through as men, and that's no excuse for men at all. I'm just speaking from a loved daughter's perspective. I can't speak from a hurt daughter's perspective
Hmm.
because that's not my perspective or my experience. Um, I'm just really just uplifting my dad because I see so many times Mother's Day gets lifted and shared, and I'm the mama and the daddy. No, you get one day. And I'm sorry that the dad that should show up on Father's Day didn't do his due diligence, but you don't get to take away from my father on Father's Day by holding that title as a woman. You got your day and he gets his, and I get
Hmm.
emotional when I talk about my dad because I know a lot of my heart, my patience, my me being solid, and me refusing to disrespect black men. That comes from the way my dad raised me,
Hmm.
and that comes from the tenacity he's put in me since I was born.
Okay. Since we on dads, let me ask you a question. I've been in circles where I'm hearing mom say, I'm the mother and the father. Now I'm saying this in love. Now, I think I had a show one time, and I think I talked about how some of the parents hold secrets from their children, such as you don't tell them who the real dad is, or you tell them that the dad is dead, or he's a deadbeat. You never really hear women say, well, you know what, son, I lied to you about your father. I really didn't know who your father was. I didn't, we didn't have a relationship. It was just, we got together one day and, it happened. You don't hear parents really sitting down or, explain that about to their children because what that does is that makes males and females walk around angry with
Hmm.
resentment toward the opposite sex, hating, because you have some young men out here because their mother told them that your father is no good. And so they hate men. They have no respect for men. They look at men a certain way because the man was absent in their life, but they
Yeah.
don't know the story. And that's a hurting feeling. A lot of people out here, nobody, let me just say this, nobody wants to look bad at their mother, but we all had a past and none of us are
Hmm.
perfect. We all have had a past. Some of us have had children in our teenage years. Some of us had children through one night stands. Some of us had children tricking off. Some of us had children just having fun at a swingers party, whatever. And the child was conceived. But do parents tell their children the truth? I don't think so. But I'm gonna leave it over for you to comment on that. That's just this is something coming from me. I'm making a statement, and I
Well,
have been in circles. Go ahead.
you're gonna start something with that one. Truth is in dialect. The truth shall set us free. Far too many times we think by telling the truth that makes us bad people. Sometimes the truth really does heal a generation. And there are so many hurt young men, walking around that we're left dating, women like myself, we're left dating these emotionally unaccountable men because, you know, I don't want women to think that this is a bad. I love black women, and I'm a black woman and I'm a woman before I'm anything. But part of me realizing where I was in this world of women is self reflection and holding myself accountable that I offered to the world before I decided to heal. And a lot of women are not in that space to pull in the mirror to say, you know what, I did this out of spite. I did not want my child to have a relationship with the other parent because I wanted control of the situation. I knew that if I could control, the only way that I can have some sense of control over this man is to control my relationship with this child. How do I do that? In most situations, in some situations, parents don't do that. Some mothers are amazing mothers and they probably out and they're begging for the dads to step up to the plate and be a good man. But far too many times do I myself run into these young men that I have to date. Understand me, parents. So understand the young men that you are lying to about the truth to their dad are ending up with young ladies like me who are healed and loved by their father and able to have a relationship with them. And and now we got to deal with your son that just found out that what you told him for the 20 plus or 30 plus years of his life has been a lie about the man he had hated all of these years. And come to find out in some of the situations, the dad didn't even know the mama had the baby. That's how deep that goes. That's how and it is a perpetuated situation that was given to us by a system that gave, black women and women section A. And instead of us using it, like I said on the last call, to empower our families and be able to help our black men build to the next level and be a foundation for them, somewhere it got lost in translation and the ego got caught up in the fact that the government became their new boyfriend. And so now they didn't need a black man for anything because the government became that new boyfriend and it became the new pedestal to uplift black women in an unhealthy way, not the way that it was supposed to be. And this is not knocking off because there's men out here who walk away from their responsibility every single day. And those men are not the men we're talking about. They don't deserve a conversation here. That's for other men to stop hanging with them and uplifting them. It's for other men to hold them accountable. But when we talk in dialect about the accountability of women, I've watched, I know family and people very dear and close to me that suffer from this, that could have had people in their lives that could have changed it. But because mama wanted to keep that secret of what she did from either, and sometimes it's because she cheated. Sometimes it's because she's spiteful because the man doesn't want her. Sometimes it's because she is just unhappy with herself. And because that man is happy and loves that child, I know how to ruin that. Can't name one of y'all. Ain't nobody gonna be happy. I worked in social work, so I've heard it come directly from women's mouth. If I can't be happy, then why he get to see her and be happy? She don't need her daddy. He couldn't do it for me. So how he gonna do it for her? Because that's his child. The unconditional love a parent has for their child looks nothing like the relationship love. It can look like it, but it is nothing like because you give birth to that child. That child becomes that if that father or that mother needed blood, it wouldn't necessarily come from that partner. It would have to come from the child. Because typically my DNA matches the blood of my father. So my mother couldn't even save my dad if he was on his dying bed and needed blood. That couldn't come from my mama. That would have to come from me. That would have to come from his child. And there are a lot of women who know they have this power over men, and we know we run into a few of those women. Yeah, that nigga, he don't deserve nothing. He think it's gonna be sweet. Wait till I go to the child support office in the morning. I'ma show him. I'ma take everything. He ain't gonna be happy with no woman. This is real. This happens. more so often than we would like to admit because women don't want accountability and self reflect.
Mm. Okay, I don't know what happened. All right, I don't know what happened. The sound went out. She was going at it, wasn't she? With that sound, that come on back. I tell you. And you know what, people, we have to realize what our dear sister is saying is the truth. We have to self accountability. Do me a favor. For those of you that have not shared the video, share the video. And if you're on YouTube, hit like, subscribe, Twitter, share the video. Appreciate you. This is definitely live, uncut. This is not staged. This is not a skit. This is real. This is where we
Tell the truth
and what?
and shame the devil.
All right, she's back. I heard her. All right. I don't know what happened, but we're going to fix it. All right.
Every
I'll-
time. Can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Yeah, it kicked me out. I'm like, it just kicked me out.
Too much truth. Too much truth. Too
I'm
much
like, I'm
truth. You know what
sorry,
it is.
y'all. But yeah, I
So,
think I think I got that point across on that a little bit.
well, let me just help you. I want to help you out a little bit too. I want to say that parents, it's time to heal. And when you hurt, you're putting the hurt on your sons and your daughters as well. And it's real talk. And that's not fair to your child. Your child walking around here with attitude, mad and bitter. Like our dear sister Miss D said that what if their father needed a blood transfusion or something?
Agreed.
And you're not able to give it to them or need a certain type of blood. But your son or your daughter will be qualified to give it to them. So it's a lot of secrets that we had within our community. Now we talking about healing tonight now. So don't try to deflect with all this woman, this female and male bash. We talk about healing now. We got to admit that we got a problem. Some of you women out there, you have dealt with men and you've never seen their state ID. You really don't know their real name. You know their street name or what they call them.
Yeah.
That's something to think about in your journey. Know who you laying down with, period. But that's what I had to say on that. I mean, that's a deep issue and it goes real deep. And our children walk around here mad. And like you said, sister, you have to date these type of men. And they got attitudes like women. And I'm not calling them gay, but they got attitudes like women, emotions like a woman. They're confused.
Yeah, and nobody said all women. We specifically, if you listen to what I said, I always start out by saying I'm not talking about all women. Women before I'm anything. And I start the conversations off like that. We have to stop taking it personal. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. This is I even said on the men's side. There are some men who don't step up and don't do their part. This is not the platform for them. This is not the platform for the women who are actually doing their part either. So if you're doing your part, then just, listen and support another Black woman to be better about it. This is a time where we're not deflecting or saying, oh, this person did this or that. Both sides did wrong. Both man and woman have done each other wrong over generations. And that's exactly what we need to continue to talk about. But me speaking these is not going to change that it's the truth. Not all women are bitter, but a lot of them are. And until we can have that realization and conversation that women do use these babies as power over men. They do. And if you go on TikTok and you search, you can literally put in the search bar moms who have lied to their children about their dad. It will shock a lot of you. It will shock a lot of you how hurt our young girls and young boys are by these lies. This is not me trying to say anything negative about our women, because on the last call, I speak to how scorned we've been. Men are not innocent in this and what they do. A lot of this bitterness men have created with this double life, with these secret lives and these secret lies. So it's no innocent on each side. It's accountability on both. So if you hear us speak and you take offense, then you are not listening to understand. You are just listening to reply. Because what we are trying to do is make sure that the dialect on both sides is heard. My side is to give dialect for women because it's a little harsh for men sometimes to come on this call and just speak ill of women. Sometimes you got to let a woman hold another woman accountable, while I allow Martin to be the man in this conversation and hold men accountable. Because there's some things that I've been able to say to Martin that he's held himself accountable to on this call in itself. We have to be willing to do the same as women. And it's far less of that happening with us being accountable to our role in the way a lot of these young men are turning out. Because again, I have to date those young men that you raised. So I get to have an opinion about my experience with the young men you women are raising and putting out in this world. And that's not knocking you as women. All I'm doing is suggesting we take the nipple away a little bit and we put some consequences and some consistency with these young men, because they are not built to run households right now. And I need a man to run my household. So if we do all of this talking and the women are still bailing our young men out and building tough women, then we are losing the dynamic of who's supposed to lead the household in the first place.
Preach, sister. And that's what I'm talking about. I want to play a video. Is that all right, sister? And you gave me this video, and I want to play it.
Absolutely.
It may not be the one you wanted to play, but I'm gonna play it.
Every time this
All right, let me
looking for
put
me
it up
since
here
I
on the
was a
screen. I
kid.
think it's up here on the screen. And
He's been
I'm going
looking
to play
for
it.
her.
Turn it up
Can
so
you
we
imagine
can
all the
hear.
kids out there who got a fucking ass mom telling them their daddy ain't but the daddy looking for them? I finally talked to my dad. He's a good dude. My mom told me my dad has not paid child support since I was a kid. I finally meet this. He has envelopes full of fucking shit proof showing he been paying child support. He told me, he said, your mom is a lying, manipulative. I have not talked to my mom in months. You know why? My mom called me. My mom's in California. My dad's in North Carolina. I moved out of LA. I can't live in North Carolina or LA because I hate those places because of the trauma I went through on both of those places. My mom calls me. What you doing, baby? What's going on? I'm at my dad's house. What the you doing at the house? Didn't I say don't discuss family business? Like, my dad comes and he busts through the door. My dad is happy and married. He's a street. Can't talk about what he do, but he is street. He's happy and married. My mom has been bitter and having sex with so many goddamn dudes of different races, and she just got married recently to a that she met on Tinder for 1 month. My mom didn't get married because she was in love. She got married because she didn't want to be lonely. Yeah. My dad bust through the door and snatched the phone. I was trying to no, hello. Put my son back on the phone. No, it's my son too. What do you want? Put my son back on the phone. And my dad loses it. Going in on my mom. And I'm listening to my mom. All that slapping, abuse, and beating me up, choking me when I'm on the floor, beating me with belts, wrapping hangers around other hangers, beating me till I pass out and wake back up, whelps on my back, scars. My mom turned into a 2-year-old little girl when my dad started talking to her. She talked to me like my entire life. He's yelling on the phone, you mad because I left you. And I didn't want to be with you no more. And you kept my son away from me as a weapon. My mom used her kids as a weapon. She used me and my little sister as a weapon. Whenever my mom would get pissed off by my dad or my sister's dad, she would say, "You will never see your son again if you disrespect." Where's my phone?
Wow, y'all heard it right there. We're gonna hold it right there. I'm sorry, people. All right, all right, get back to. So, my dear sister, D.
Yeah.
Miss D, what you got to say? Let's talk about that. What we just played. Let's talk about that.
You know, that that just touched my heart. Um, and I can see the pain, and I can see the women that had to date him, what pain they went through during that time of him not knowing. Imagine the sisters that young man had to date, and the things that they had to go through because he wasn't healed because of the lie of the mother, and again, this is not to, to bash women, because they don't have it easy out here, all the time. I know a lot of single mothers, and a lot of my dear friends, and they do a darn good job of making sure that positive male figures are in their children's lives. So to see a video like this, it's disheartening. It hurts, because a mother has so much power, and control, with that child in this world. And a lot of men, the system is a lot for Black men. It's hard already for Black people, both men and women, but to add the system on top of that process, and to add lies, the system, sure that your child is scorned. That means, as a mother, you didn't even seek enough in yourself to say, I want better for my baby than I have for all that she carried in her, for her carry.
You breaking up again. You breaking up again. As soon as we get good, she breaking up. I still hear you. Now go ahead, say something. All right. And that young brother that you guys witnessed, full of hurt. He figured it out. He's an adult now. He's no longer a child. A child may know something that's not right and can't explain it. So these are the things that we say that's happening. We need to heal from. Now, his mother was hurting. He's hurting because he thought of a certain way about his father, that his father didn't love him, didn't care about, didn't support. And his father proved everything that his mother said he wasn't doing. And that's hurt. That's hurt. And also, and I told y'all ladies, don't think your children don't see you messing with this one and that one and this one and that one and this one and that one. They see it. They see it. Don't think they don't see it. They see it. All right, you're back, partner.
Yeah,
All
can
right.
you hear me clear? Am I better now?
Yes, much better. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know. It's just kicking. I think it's just not my friend today, but that's okay. I'm used to it. But no, I think that video, is really just a tip of the iceberg, on how far some mothers are willing to go. Even, when it came to Kirk Franklin's situation, the mother, to her death, she's obviously gonna take that lie to her deathbed. Women like that are a part of the problem, you know. And men who don't step up to the plate are equally a part of the problem, because we see some amazing mothers out here, that's doing it all and some, and men walk around here with their tails on their shoulder because the woman doesn't want them, and she knows that she can do better. So from my proof, I have some dope mothers around me. My friends who are mothers are actually like really amazing women. I've wound up dating the sons of these lies. So that's my perspective of it, is because most of the time it's my shoulder that these young men have found these truth out on and crying on, because now they got to refine themselves. And I may not even be, mothers don't understand that. Let me give an example. A young man comes to me, finds this out, right? So now he has to refine himself, right? We built each other. We've been dating for years, so we found love. But this situation happens, right? So now he has to refine himself, because this person who he has thought himself to be, this unloved person, it was not at all. He was actually loved by another individual who wasn't allowed to love him. And now he has to dissect those emotions, all while trying to love another Black woman. Imagine that. That's what we have to date through. We got to date through them lies. So on one end, I have some dope mommies as friends. But on the other end, I got to date the young men that these lies are creating. So when they say we're single because this is the lies. We gotta wait for you guys' son to deal with the lies that you are creating in their everyday life, because the new person they may be after finding themselves after all of this hurt may not even love the woman in front of them anymore, because the new person they may have grown may not even be attracted to this version of woman that helped them heal. And I blame the mamas for that, because we got to deal with that hurt. Our hearts have to be broken, and we still have to have grace enough to let that man go and heal, because he deserves it. But what about me? What about love for us?
Let me say real quick, for those of you that's calling in, we're not taking no calls as of yet. Until we're finished, then we're going to open it up for calls. Right now, it's not open up for no calls. So if you call in, you just hang up, and we'll let you know when it's open for calls. So we just want to have, we want to fill you guys in what we're looking for, and we're making comments. So no calls right now. Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. D.
No, and I was just reading some of them. I'm back grouping my women who show messages of them begging the fathers. Yeah, we know that exists. We know that there are deadbeat dads out there that, a lot of my friends are single moms. So that's not, that goes without being said. We know that to be true. Martin and I have talked about that. What we're talking about is when there's deceit and lies and manipulation. A father not stepping up to the plate to do his job is completely different than the mother lying about it. You're creating a false narrative versus letting it be exactly what it needs to be.
Ms. D, let me say something about deadbeat fathers. Okay, now, if you got with this guy and you laid down with him, you had a baby, and he had 4 other babies and he didn't take care of none of them, that's on you. That's on you. Don't come on the platform dragging your deadbeat baby mama or deadbeat baby father in the dirt, and you lay down with him. And you can't get mad at him because he don't want you. Now, he can't be the same father living in the house with you if he's not living in the house. There's I call them 2 different types of fathers. You are the custodian parent. So you are the guardian, full guardian. You have control over everything. So don't get mad because he's not looking at you in a sexual manner anymore, or he don't want to be with you. He moved on with his life, and he's trying to be in his child life, but you're playing a game of chess, using the children as pawn. And that go both ways.
Yeah.
So both ways. You done ran the man out. You done kicked him out. You didn't call him every name in the book but a child of God. Now he done got on his feet and moved on and started another family. And now you want to call him a deadbeat. When he was trying to do what he do, it was a problem. You want to control him. And listen, what I'm trying to say is a lot of this blame is on the moms too, not just the father. Because it's how you start off in these relationships. Some of us don't know these people, and we go and have a baby by them.
Yep. And men got to take some real accountability for following that, that fat booty and a smile. A lot of men end up with they see what type of woman that woman was too on that side. They knew exactly what life she lived before he decided, well, I thought, no, you dated potential. And you didn't date what it should have been when you wanted to date them. And that's for both sides. Men know it's accountability for them. We get men every day that get on here and say but you choose the same type of woman expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity. There's no way you go and choose the same type of woman every single time and then get mad at women for being the same exact woman you continue to choose. Who is really the problem? The woman or the man that's doing the choosing? It's you. So it's like on both sides, women get on here and they rag. And for women to say that we don't know anybody like that, that's a bald-faced lie when we got internet. You might not know nobody directly, but you know it exists. We know this exists. And that's the problem, is when we try to act like everything is a facade on both sides. When men try to, I don't know no men like, yes, you do. Stop it. Come on now. Women, yes, you do. Stop it. You may not hang with them and you may not align with them, but you know of them. We've seen it. We've gone to the grocery store and we've seen women whacking their kids in the back, calling them all kinds of stupid bees and all of these other things because they may be upset in the moment or mad at their daddy. We've seen this. And we need to stop acting like it doesn't exist. It's been perpetuated. This has been since slavery. This has been since inception that in order to destroy the Black household, we have to destroy the Black family. And what we get is a bunch of excuses on both sides versus both sides saying that it's messed up on both sides. And the system is continuing to help us perpetuate that. Section 8 don't help Black women. And men not holding other men accountable don't help deadbeats.
Mm-hmm.
Because the system gonna come get the deadbeat daddy if she put him in the court system. So let's not say that it's not a system to hold those deadbeats down.
And I want to say this public. It's wrong for any man know that go out and buy $2,500 rims and tires, and you know your baby needs some gym shoes, a coat, and some boots. That's wrong. I'm speaking from a man's point. That is wrong. I'm gonna tell you another thing is wrong. You living with a woman, y'all shacking, whatever. You taking care of her children as if they are yours, but you neglecting your own biological children. That's wrong.
Yeah,
that's wrong.
Yeah,
I got to tell men because some of y'all men don't know that's wrong. Then I'm gonna tell you another thing. A lot of men do. I'm speaking to men now. You allow your new woman or your wife or your fiance to stop you from supporting your biological children. You're wrong for that. She's wrong for that. Yes. You're wrong. You can't go on and pretend like they don't exist.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Men, I'm talking to men. You're buying mink coats, you're buying big chains and jewelry and all that. And you know your son or daughter don't have no gym shoes.
And should no woman be laying up with no man that don't take care of his kids? What kind of person are you? What kind of female are you to lay up next to a man who doesn't take care of his kids? And then most of the time, the women who lay up with the man knowing he didn't take care of his kids will go have a baby by the same man and then say he ain't nothing. But you knew he didn't take care of the kids when you was laid up next to him. And you thought that you had one up on the baby mama because he was laid up with you. And now look at us. Because I've been, you know, I thought I was one up in a woman too, and a man made a fool out of me. We all been there. We've all been there thinking we one up in another woman, and reality comes set in, and he done played both of us. No, I'm not laying up to no man whose kids are not a priority. If I miss time with a man, it's because I got to go take care of my kids. That's a turn on to me. Because if you're not working and taking care of your kids, that means you're not working towards no family with me either. Then what we got to talk about?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now this is a deep conversation. So again, men, I'm gonna tell you another thing is wrong for you to do too. You know you out there, and I gotta say it, Miss D. I hope this stand on the subject. Out there switch hitting, and I got to say it because you out there. Not using protection when you out there messing with the same sex and you coming back to your woman.
Yeah.
You're wrong. You're dead wrong. You're wrong, period. But you're really wrong. You're jeopardizing your health and her health at the same time. You're wrong. I'm speaking to the men. That's who I'm speaking to the men. And we got to change. We got to do better.
Yeah.
And let me say another thing to the men. One more thing. For those men that have children out there that's not working, it don't cost no money to get on the bus or the train, to get your children together, go to the park, sit down, talk to them, or McDonald's or whatever, Burger King or Popeye, sit down. That doesn't cost a whole lot of money. Trust me.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. And you know, a lot of times also with the newer age women, you know, the taking time out to actually love on their daughters. You know, I love my friends as parents. I have some really dope friends. I watch, if I ever wanted to be a mother, It's because I've been able to watch my dope friends and, the work me and my mom put in to heal generational curses. That's the reason I would want a daughter, is because I love the relationship I have with my mother now. In the beginning, we went through a lot, because the way that my mother was raised was different than the world that I got to experience. It's so much trauma that came with my mom. The world was so much harder on my mom, and it created these toxic habits with that generation that created more competition. Not to say that that was me and my mom's, but it created indirect competition between mother and daughter. And a lot of what we get to see now, is competition between mom and daughter. You get them now, the mama on there twerking next to her daughter. I have nothing against the TikTok videos and moms and they daughter enjoying these new moves, but this twerking on camera with the mama and stuff like that, me and my mom don't identify with that. My mom didn't become my friend until I was plus 30. You know what I mean? So I don't understand a lot of what parents are trying to have happen with their kids, because it's beginning to be detrimental on how they carry themselves out here in the world and what they see as value for themselves as young ladies. So it's just really different now. The way that these new moms move, the new mentality, the fact that a lot of mothers are now allowing their boyfriends to be inappropriate with their daughters, to the point that a lot of these young ladies are running away and staying with their friends, or going with older men and ending up in those situations, or even turning and being lesbian because it's a place for them to stay. um, it's really hard out here on young ladies, and I'm hearing this more and more, how these men are meeting these women, and the women are so desperate to have a man in their life, or have somebody come home to them, that now their daughters are in their rooms 24/7, because now mama boyfriend think her booty fat in her pajamas. you know it's a lot of that happening out here, and we really need to protect young Black girls, because the world is telling them that they aren't valued, that they don't mean anything. And look, man, if you mad at they mamas, that's fine, but what you post, these young kids are digesting that, and somebody's still giving their mama $40. Somebody's still entertaining the toxic women out here. Somebody's still getting sexy reds pregnant. Somebody's still doing it. You know what I mean? So there has to be some accountability on men out here still sneaking and doing all of these things, secretly, like you said, even in the closet, utilizing money as a way to get over on the youth. It doesn't just happen to young women at 16, 17, and 18. Women are pedophiles out here, you know, calling themselves cougar and dating 16 and 17-year-olds, and paying their way and messing up young men's heads too. It's a lot happening in our community, that a lot of people aren't aware of. And that's why our kids are like lashing out and don't know what to do with all of these emotions, because it's a lot of inappropriate sexualization happening in our communities right now to our kids.
I agree. I agree. And let me just say this too. Um, I'm not against two people, male and female, falling in love with each other. Just like you arise in love, you can fall out of love. I like to use the word arise in love. And it can happen. But the children didn't ask to come here. And we have to do our due diligence toward our children. And some of us men, we get mad at the baby mama because we can't sleep with her no more. So what we do in retaliation, we don't do nothing for the children. Now, if she come over and spend the night with us, then we'll go ahead and do something for the babies. See, that behavior too, that's bad too on your men. That's real bad. Oh, I know what I'm talking about. Trust me.
Hmm.
You got a lot of men out there like that. They're not going to do nothing for their son or daughter unless the baby mama that don't want nothing to do with them no more sleep with them. That's the only
Hmm.
way. And that's
Hmm.
terrible, man. Shame on you, man, if you're doing that.
I got a
Shame
few
on you.
friends that have to deal with that, and they're amazing parents, and they, I love them. Like that, as single mothers, they really make me want to be a mom. Like I look up to them in parenting, and to see some of the dads utilize the fact that these women don't want them and say, well, then let the next man take care of them. I couldn't fathom. I wouldn't, like, what? Is that a real thing that men really do to women out here?
You'll be surprised. And see, we Kenneth Watkins said no other race do that. No, don't say that, because if you don't live around other races, you don't know what they do. People
And I
are
went to school in Crete, Nebraska. They absolutely do it in other national. They absolutely do it in the white household. They absolutely do it in the Hispanic
Mhm.
household. This is not no. This is not just a dust on black men. We can only speak to blackness because we're black. We're speaking to our own people because it's going to take us to save us. I'm not worried about what they doing in other cultures, because I want to help make us better. I want
Mhm.
black women to be uplifted again. I want black men to love us like they used to. I want us to go back on the pedestal we deserve to be on as black queens in this world. And I want us to appreciate black men. Um, I want us to appreciate black men the way that we used to. I want us to give them back their power. I want us to give them back their masculinity. I want us to give each other back our trust. And that's not going to be easy. The only way we're going to do that is through dialect like this, and us healing and being honest with each other and coming to a base to say, I need you, black men. I apologize for the black women out there who have not stepped up to the plate to do the things necessary to allow you in your child's life to not be spiteful, to not be manipulative. And I'm sorry, little black girl who didn't love her, who didn't show her that she was her biggest champion and cheerleader. I love you, sister. Heal that little girl in you so that we can all be black women and sisters and be in sisterhood and sistership together. It's not going to be easy, and we're not going to always agree, but we should always carry love for one another. We should always carry love for one another.
I agree too. Something coming down on me right now. Um, Men, I'm talking to the men now. Don't run out there and get you a pay to play or a prostitute. Give her $40, whatever. Then you try to make her to a housewife. Then you start beating her, then trying to control her. You know what you got into. Don't do that. That's not good. It's not good to build a family with a 304, period. If you know this woman is a 304, let her be until she's done what she's doing. Because you can't change nobody. You have a hard enough time changing ourselves and no longer trying to change another person. So don't build no family with a person that's sleeping with this one and that one and this one and that one, because you really headed for disaster. That's all what you're asking for. And I'm going to say this, sister, I got to say it. A lot of us, and I'm talking male and female right now, we associate great sex or good sex with love. And that can be very misleading. Well, you say, well, Martin, we jail so good together in bed. I mean, it's just like perfect. But listen, it's more than relationship than sex, period. Because listen, just like a man can get tired of a woman can get tired of a man. Now, what else you got to go on? You got to build something to keep you together. Do things together. Because after the honeymoon is over with, she get used to your sex and you get used to his sex. Then what? Then what? Nah, y'all at each other's throat.
Mm-hmm.
It's healing time, people. It's healing time. The same thing it took you to get that woman, you might have to keep doing that to keep her. Trust me. I just had to say that. It came over me.
I appreciate you. I love when you come in and hold men just as accountable as I'm doing women. That's the balance between us. That is the healing process between both sides, and we do it intergenerationally. So this ain't about, oh, I'm at this age and you're at that age. No, everybody in our culture, all black people need the same access to healing. And when we go back to our childhood and we look at the times when we felt, where we were the least powerless. If I can ask everybody, that's experiencing this call, is to go back, in your childhood, take yourself back, and we're going to sit in silence for maybe a minute, and I allow everybody to do that. Take a second and go back to your childhood, because everybody has this moment where it was a moment of self-reflection where we wished in that moment we had done or said something to make us feel better as people, even if that was saying to our mama, I don't like the way that makes me feel. I wish you wouldn't have said that to me. I went back to a moment when I was a kid and somebody told me, you always walking around, you always happy. That, like, what? Why are you always happy? Like, that blows me. Like, your energy blows me. And I let that bother me. I was like, I can't be happy. If I can go back to that little kid in me in that moment, I would have hugged that person and told them, be like me, versus allowing the fear of joy that they had to come over me. And most of the time, that's what we do. We deflect our fears on each other, onto one another, because we're not ready to enter that realm of healing. Allow people to go back to frolicking to their inner child. Like, I want to see Black men frolicking across grasses and Black women not saying that's sassy. I want to be able to see Black men tap into their emotions and say, man, I'm hurt today. The world tore me down today. It gave me a good old whooping today. I need a hug, sister. And me and women be able to accept them with open arms and still see the strong man in them. We've allowed social media to dictate what our households and what strength looks like to us, that we don't even have a mind of our own now. People go to the internet. Well, what the internet say a good man is? What does the internet say? What have you seen a good man do? What have you seen a good woman do? What have you experienced a good man do? We all know what it is to feel good on the inside, but it should not take me dating another man to access my own happiness. I come to the table happy. A man is an addition to my happiness. He's not the creator of it. I'm the creator of my happiness. So any man that comes to my life is going to see a happy individual, because I create that happiness and that level for myself. And the only thing that he can do is add to it, and vice versa.
It's
And
deep.
that starts with self-love. When you begin to look at yourself, and it was hard for people, don't know that it was hard for me to do that. It was hard. I'm a Leo female. It was hard. I
Mm.
put that mirror up and I realized the things that I was doing that were toxic. I couldn't believe myself. I was like, Danita. Look, I said it. I did it. You did
Yes,
it.
you did.
I did
Yeah, you
it.
did.
But
You did.
I've said it to myself a few times, and I looked in that mirror, and I didn't even want to face the truth in that, because that mean I had to look at some of those men and be like, dang, I was kind of toxic too. You know, I ain't have to say that to that man. I could have been more nurturing. You know, I could have done this differently. I looked at how many times I let my pride allow me answer things versus allowing it to sit, digest, me deal with it, and then regurgitate it back to somebody. It took me to go through therapy, self-reflection, and healing, in order to get to that space to be able to say, you know what? I was wrong. I was the problem in certain situations. But when it came to relationships, if they can dial in at the end, I've never found myself as being the issue for that. I've always found myself running into Black men who meet me and then find out that they want to heal. They find out like, oh, a minute, I'm not as healed as I thought I was, and need a break to go get themselves together. And that's my point to the moms, with those secrets, because a lot of times that's when that break happens for young women like us, because men, when they finally get to a point that they find the truth out in their lives, they have to reevaluate everything in their life, including their relationship. And the woman on the other side of that relationship, which is typically women like myself, we suffer.
Hmm. Wow. I mean, this is a deep conversation. And people, again, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. And we're not saying all, we're saying some. This is not the case with every Black man or every Black woman.
No.
Okay. We just want to get that out there and clear, because some people get on here and just start ranting. Well, I'm not lying. Okay, good for you. We have to listen. If we're going to break this generational curse, we have to do it. We're just going to have to do it. It have to start right now. Right now, people. Right now. Trust me. I had a friend of mine, a good friend of mine. He's a mentor. And one of his mentees said that his mama is a bust down. And he didn't know what to say. He couldn't believe that was coming out of his mentee mouth. He said,
Yeah.
man, my mama a bust down. And I want to say this to all the parents out there. Let me just say this to you. You'll be surprised with how your children view you, both males and females. If you really could be honest. And I'm going to tell you, once they get older, they're better to figure it out. Now, right now, some of them small, they can't really figure it out. But when they get older, time will tell your children what type of person you are. I'll tell you. And this is the truth. I know we don't want to hear this. Some of us need to ask our children, how do you view me? What type of person you think I am? You know, a lot of times, I hear parents say, well, I'm grown, I do whatever I want to. You living in my house, so shut up and be quiet. And you don't know that man that you bring in the house is looking at your young daughter. Now, he ain't never said nothing to her, but that vibration is so strong, that lust spirit, and he's looking at her like she's a piece of two-piece spicy, legs and thigh, or breast. Like he just want to eat up. His eyes is full of lust. And you act like you can't see it. And when she try to tell you, first thing you say, well, go in there and put on some clothes.
You shouldn't be dressing like that. You need to change the way you look. In no way, shape, or form should you ever make your child feel uncomfortable to a man coming in her house. Absolutely dress appropriate. But no way, shape, or form should any child, boy or girl, feel uncomfortable with the people you bring into a place that they call home. No way, shape, or form. And I see some, I hear a lot of, she not gonna ruin what I got. Well, maybe you're ruining what you have with your child versus what you want with this temporary man, and a lot of men will manipulate women and say, well, if you can't control your house, just say that. No, if you are attracted to her daughter, just say that. A lot of men mistreat and tear women down because they want the fight between the mother and the daughter. I've watched a lot of men come into households and make the mother basically become the enemy of the child, and women have to stop allowing that. Women have to stop allowing that, because what's crazy is that we'll see women come in and contest their daughter, but soon as a man comes in and try to tell that son what to do and give him consequences, as I continue to say, these mamas will come and bail those boys. You not touching my baby, not my baby boy. And then the rest of the women in the world got to deal with these bailed out little boys because they're not men. They're raising baby boys. And then the ones that are lied to and the mamas done catered to them, they're so unemotionally stable that when they go out, they hate all women now. Now they hate us all because the one that they trust the most was the one who betrayed them the worst. And that's a mama. And that's the role women have over men, is that you can raise a man on a lie all of those years and then turn around and ask that same young man that you raised on a lie about his father to go out in the world and trust and love women. That is hard for men to do. So yes, it goes back to you, because had you told him the truth and took an accountability and what role you played in any of this, the world probably would have got a better product on the man than what we got. Because what we got out here is, and part
Slim
of it is
pickings.
because of mommy issues.
Slim pickings. Slim pickings. And listen, it's a lot of us, even on this platform right now, and I'm speaking, not all of us, afraid to love again because we've been burnt so many times.
Yep.
Trying to love, trying to give ourselves to people, trying to love and get played. I'm telling you, it's tough out here, people. Slim pickings on both sides. Now, I know it's so many women to a man, one man, but still it's slim pickings out here.
Women have
Slim
raised men to the point that they feel like being with a man is a better option than being with women. Imagine that, because they think about it. If I'm in a household under a woman, this is femininity, even if it's masculine femininity. It's still femininity. I'm in this household full of women. Men ain't shit. Men ain't shit. I'm the man in the house, and I get bailed out of everything. So in my mind, I'm thinking women run the world and do everything, and they the answer to everything. But at the same time, I can't be equated to anything because I've heard them say my whole life, men ain't shit. So if this is all I gotta wake up and hear, even if she ain't saying it to me, like you said, kids absorb everything. That's why when kids go back to school, they'll repeat, you know, my mama and my daddy had a fight today because you thought you was fighting in your room with the door closed while the daddy was calling you all kinds of trifling B's and H's. That baby went back to school, had a disagreement with a student, and called that little girl all kinds of B's and H's because that's what he just heard the man in the room say to his mama. That you, even if you are thinking you are shielding them, kids are exposed to a lot. And these new kids are way smarter than us. I don't know why parents don't understand the fact that your kids could use your phone better than you tells you right off top they smarter than you. Which means nothing you do is a secret to these kids. They're going to soak that up as a sponge. Look at these kids in that video singing that Sexy Red song. I don't even know words. I can't even say the words. But that was parents that allowed that to happen. There were mothers in that room allowing kids to be in adult conversations. Far too many times I'm out having a conversation adult and people, kids are in the same room with us while we're talking about, and they'll get mad at me if I tell them I don't feel comfortable having this conversation around your kids. My kids hear this all the time. With you they do, not with me. And that's the boundaries we have to continue to start having with people around these kids, because what we're doing is allowing them to be grown-ups so early that these little girls, my niece will tell her friends in a minute, my auntie ain't gonna allow it. Let me call my auntie because I know she gonna have a fit. Those are the examples. That's when that's saying it takes a village. Mama, you might not know all of it, but if you had a village to help you and you stayed out your pride and you let somebody else tell your child what to do, we all might turn out just half better. Just half better. Because none of the kids can walk through any neighborhood with no consequences. Because who gonna say something to me? My mama gonna come right up on you with me. My people gonna come right up on me with me. And my mama ain't gonna let nobody say nothing. They showing up to the schools to fight the teachers. Instead of telling their kid, if you be disrespectful outside of this household and another parent has to come back and say you're embarrassing me, you gonna get they ass whooping. And my kids don't have those consequences no more. So then what am I to tell your child what to tell your child? Because they gonna fight me because you already told them can't nobody else say nothing to them but you. So we're creating these children that we're complaining about in the same breath. Like it makes no sense that we're taking no accountability in what we are putting out into this world. All we doing is pointing fingers and saying this is bad, this is bad. Well, why is it bad? What did we do in this community to make it bad? What did we take away from this community that we have the product that we have now? We took away the Black man, and we took away leadership, and we took away family, and we took away consequences and responsibility for the youth. They don't have to work for anything. They just wake up, use their mama debit card, Uber Eats on the way, Roblox, and they get I have feelings too. You absolutely do, but the feelings don't pay the bills in this house. I do. So there are rules that come with the person that provide this perfect living for this child. And if they don't know how to align with those rules, then we need to have consequences align for them to understand that this is the other side that you get when you don't want to follow rules.
Wow. Now, sister, what are we going to do about this healing part? Because we didn't diagnose all what they're doing, and we need some healing. We definitely need some healing on both for the males and the females.
I say we suggest a book. You know, I suggest that all the time. If people that are in our chat within the next week We need to suggest a book that we all indulge in, and every week that we tune in, we'll pick a week that I come back on Miss D's session, and we'll indulge in that book, and that way, that's when our callers can call in and have dialect and give their perspective. We'll pull excerpts out of the book, and we'll talk about that, and we'll have us indulge in that just like you and I do, because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people need to be able to speak their truth in healing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes just being able to say, that happened to me, sister. And I told you that I got a migraine after speaking my truth on that last call, because that was my first time being that vulnerable with the world about my experiences with Black men that I love so much. I was afraid to hurt Black men's feelings. Believe it or not, I was afraid to tell my truth because I didn't want to hurt good Black men. Because I know it's some great Black men out there. My dad's one of them. My little brother's one of them. My uncles are some of them. Black men that raised me, you know. So I was really afraid to be that vulnerable, to tell Black men how I've been hurt by them, and how I got to my healing. Is I think we all need to self-reflect, but at the same time, I think we need to find a book that resonates with this topic of healing. And I want my readers to do, throw some books out there, and Martin will follow up on his page. Make sure you check in um, to see what the book is, so that we can all read a couple of chapters for a week and check in, and then we'll do dialect on those 2 chapters that, we go through. And maybe that's our own way of healing ourselves too. For those who not ready to go in somebody's office and do therapy, maybe we can read through these books, and have some dialect, and help each other out. We're not always gonna get it perfect, but we could definitely work through it together, as family on here. I may not know anybody on this call, but y'all are all my family, and I love everybody. You know, Even if that sometimes I might not like some of what we comment and say. My basis for everything that I'm going to do with everybody is I suggest we start with love and getting this book.
Mm-hmm. And let me just say this too. People share the video. I'm quite sure this video, it is not just for the old folks, it's for all of us. It's for all of us. It's healing. We need healing, people. Trust me, it's so much hate among our race. I'm talking about our race, Black people, the male and female. You know what? Let me just go. I want to say this, D. When I look at the Venezuelans, that's the ones that's family up, couple up. And when I went to the police station, they had some families laying on the floor. I'm like, man, is that really love? Is that she love that man that much that she gonna come on to another country, don't have no relatives, and sleep on the floor, sleep on the floor in the
Well,
public
those
place?
situations, I like that as an example, but I will have to have a whole nother dialect on what I see about what that with the immigration is. A lot of them know if they do that and they come here, what resources they're going to have access to too.
Mm,
So it's a part of a bigger plan on that, which I'd rather us kind of indulge on a different subject. But the example of that, of how much love in other cultures we see, I think is an testament. But I will say that the Black man is loved by all cultures. The Black man is, an Asian woman will jump 10 towers to get a Black man, who usually is kind of thrown under the bus with the bad attitude and the bad reputation around the world, is the Black woman.
mhm.
That's the one that's not always being taken in with so much grace. The sisters, we always, in the world, we being transparent. The women around the world see a Black man walk in the room, they get googly eyed. Oh my God, it's a specimen. Even if it's a fantasy for them, you know, the Black woman, the notion of who we are around the world, is that we're just angry individuals. And that's sad, because we have the most love and patience for our Black men, more so than anybody. And for me, um, uh, c- you know, color does matter when it comes to Black love. Color may not matter in the genuineness of love to everybody, but when it comes to Black love, color absolutely matters, because far too many times is it diluted. for us to share our love with other cultures, but that love isn't shared back with us. So it is absolutely a priority that it is important about the color, because far too many times is our color compared to other colors and said that it is not the same and it's not equivalent to. So on this platform and in this moment, the lifting of Blackness and the love and the evolution of Blackness is a priority, and it does matter. Because far too many times is it diluted for us to be compared to another culture and us not have the essence of the true love we deserve to be given directly to us in Black love. I'm not sharing this love with nobody tonight. It goes all to Blackness. And that's no diss to anybody or where they come from, but I'm telling you where my love is specifically directed. I directed in this call and in my energy to heal us right now. My priority is Blackness, because right now Blackness is the ones being torn down the most. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow, this is great. This is great. We've discussed a lot of things, and I think we have. Well, I think I have one more video if you want to share it. It's on you.
Which
Which one? Let me see which one that is.
Oh,
Okay.
I think you should. I think you should, and we could cap it off on that one.
Okay.
Sophia, y'all, I don't know y'all, but I know y'all my cousins and sisters. Ella, all y'all, I need y'all to find us a book. Charmise, I need y'all to find us a book. I need us. Anna Marie, you could toss one out there too.
Somebody just did put a book up there too. Somebody put.
I can't see, so I can't see. I saw y'all names. I can't necessarily see all of the chat because I'm on I can't see it as you guys are giving it, but I'm getting some of y'all and I'm seeing some of y'all names. So I need us sisters to come up with a book, y'all. Let's look up a healing book. I do chakra healing, so once we get to that, I'll make sure I expose that to us. But I want us to indulge. The Power of Now is a great book, Ella Clark. That's what you're saying? The Power of Now. I'll look into that. And I think that we should look at the power. Okay, we'll indulge in the Power of Now, Ella. We'll take that suggestion from you if everybody's okay with that. I kind of like that title in itself too, sister. So I'm gonna look that up. If folks need to have like screenshots of the pages because you can't afford to get it, let's work together and share in resources. I'll go look up the book. I usually do audiobook and I'll screenshot and read along with the book. So The Power of Now. Okay, so that's what we'll do.
The Power Now.
Oh, Sophia, I like that one. So I started reading that one too. So that could be our second book. We're not ending with one. So we'll start. That'll be our second book. Make sure you hold us accountable to that, Sophia. The Destruction of the Black Civilization. I really liked when I was reading that book. But we're gonna start with The Power of Now to start with, and once I do that, I'll let him know how many chapters we'll read into, and then I can screenshot some of the pages for those who need to catch up until they can get the book or whatever we need to do to make sure that the next time we do some type of follow-up, folks are aware of what we're gonna read. So the book is The Power of Now.
The Power Now. We got a video up. I think the 3 when your mom lied to you. I think that's the one. I'm finna put it up now.
I think she'll probably never listen to
it. This one's not it.
But we gonna say
that's not it. Hold on.
This is them finding out. Brother and sister finding out a lie. This is it.
She had 25 plus years to fix this, and she did not. She kept it going. She kept the lies. She kept the allegations going.
I can't even count the things that you did. This is not no game.
And if I was any of those daughters, I wouldn't want anything to do with my mom anymore. Anything. I wouldn't want her in my life because you know deep down inside that woman did not instill or train or help those young women become wives. She trained them to hate men. She trained them to despise men. She trained them to avoid men, fear, scarcity, and lack. Right? We know this. We see this. And this is the problem. This is what's going on. And it's so unfortunate. That's why Kevin Samuels is right.
This is these children's lives. And it's just a demon in you that you need to deal with.
She knew what she was doing.
All right, I'm gonna stop that. Man, that is ridiculous, people. And see, that's wrong. When you set your children up for failure, not to love. I mean, people, that's deep. That is deep. That's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep. That is deep.
That
is
broke
deep.
my heart, you know.
And see, these are the
and
secrets.
the part that broke my heart was when they tried to hold her accountable. I'm sorry. I think I'm bugging up on my side, Martin. I'm sorry.
No, I hear you well. I hear you well. You good on this end. I hear you real well. I just that was deep. That's a lot of hate.
Years,
That's
you know, when we
deep
first went through that.
That's hurtful. You set your daughters
I feel like
up
I'm
for
echoing.
failure.
I'm sorry if I am, Martin.
It might be me. You're not echoing on my end. Can you hear me? What about now?
Oh, yeah, because I think it's echoing on my
play no
end.
video.
So that's why I stopped talking, because
you got to cut it off. You're gonna hear echo.
Double. I apologize.
You got to cut all your audio off, because if you got anything playing outside, it's going to send you an echo. Some electronics.
I think it was something I shouldn't have touched. That's all.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we could open it up for questions.
Am I clear now?
Very clear. You want to open it up for questions? Now I think we've been on. Is it, Ms. D? What do you think?
Absolutely. I want to shout out to the
Now you're breaking up.
single dad.
You're breaking up now. You're breaking up. She's gonna come back on. She's gonna give some shout out to people. All right, we're gonna take questions while she's waiting to come in. Call in number 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389. All right,
I heard you.
Shout outs. We missed it. It went out.
And I heard you. I was silent. I heard you say we were gonna do call in.
Yeah, but go ahead. You was giving your shout out to you.
To the single dads. Like, y'all dope. You know, I've met some really dope single dads, and you know, I see how women are born to be nurturers, but to watch men who are born to be logical turn into nurturers, let me just say that's a big turn on. You know, shout out to the dads that, you know, put their kids as a priority in their life, even over relationships. You know, you mean more to us than you will ever know. You know, we don't play about you single dads. And I love all of y'all. Like, y'all are so dope. I know so many of y'all. But you guys are super awesome, and shout out to the single dads. And Miss Ella Clark, who is the book by? I'm sorry, I didn't get to see it, because I wanna go ahead and get it so I can start reading it and we can do a catch up.
All right, the phone lines are open, people. The phone lines are open. 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389. We want you to comment or make any suggestions, something that you heard tonight. We want to hear from you. We definitely, me and Ms. D, we're on the line, and we're going to take some questions, some answers, some comments, and you're more than welcome to call in right now. Earlier, we wasn't accepting any calls because we wanted to keep the flow of, the podcast going, and we didn't want to get no distraction. So we'll open up the lines again. Call in number 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389. All right, people, this is your opportunity to come in and call and give some input. This is live, uncut, unedited, and I'm quite sure some things that you guys can maybe correct us on or enhance what we were saying, or testify on what we were saying. And listen, we don't know everything, but the things that we know, we speaking out of pure experience and just by observation too, as well. All right. Well, while we wait, Miss D, you got anything else for us? We're waiting on some call.
I'm really, I'm grateful today. That just even in the chat for accountability for us as women, that we didn't take offense to it, that we found it as an opportunity to heal each other, and we're finding solutions. Either you're a part of the problem or you're a part of the solution. And right now, everybody is putting in the work for us to find solutions to heal, which means that we really want this to happen for us. I'm very grateful, because what this does is people who are listening that probably didn't even chime in, we're changing perspectives. We are changing the dialect. We are changing the energy. And as I continue to tell people, energy could never be created or destroyed. It can only be transferred. So when you leave this platform, hopefully it's a transfer of love, energy to you, commitment, loyalty, Black love, consistency in our love for one another, forgiveness and grace. And understand that we are always going to fall short, because it's hard being Black, y'all, both men and women. And I always say that, and I'll continue to say that. It is already hard being Black. The least we can do for one another is try to make the experience with another Black person easier, because the world ain't going to do it for us. And the only place that we have for love is with one another, because don't nobody love Blackness more than Black people. Like, what's the best thing? What else is better than to be us? And that's no shine to everybody else. I would hope every other culture uplifts themselves the way that I am speaking proudly about us. But we are truly a blessing to this world. And we need to walk in that every single day with our shoulders back, our heads held high, and walk in grace and love with one another, and start making the hard decisions and having the hard conversations, and loving on each other in the tough times, and stepping back from some situations and having more grace for one another than judgment. I think we need to do that more, as Black people, is to just have more grace for one another, because it's hard out here for us, y'all. Martin, they need to know your number again. Say it one more time.
Okay. Call in number 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389.
Hey, Sharice Tuck. Hey, girl.
I'm putting it in the
How
in
you
chat.
doing? But no, in all seriousness, I love Black women. We give birth to every variation possible. We are the only people, we are the only women that can do that. And we have to walk in that glory. But while we walk in that glory, let's remember that Black men protect us in this world. And let's make sure we protect them with our tongues, because our tongues hold power. And we can get mad, and the tongue of a woman can be vicious. You understand me? So for me, to other women, when we have the opportunity to hold our tongue and our pride to these brothers, God will bless us 10 times fold. Because when I wanted to hurt a man and I didn't, and I let God handle him, man, look, let me tell you, he look out for you, and he do it 10 times. I'm telling you. So
we got a caller, Miss D.
Okay, yay, that's awesome.
Hey, caller, 4703. You're live, uncut, unedited. What's your thoughts or your comments or question?
Hey, God bless. Martin.
Hey, Dr. Sanders. Hey, Dr. Sanders. It's my sister here. All right. Go ahead, Doc.
Hey, God bless everyone. Happy New Year. It's so important. I just came in on what she was saying. As African-American women, we got to know how to love each other. I could be transparent just for a second, because you're not going to go ahead and see about our people tomorrow.
All right. I know it.
My son, Daniel, he will be 20 coming March. And his father decided at 18 to show up. And I told my son, I said, it's not about what I feel or how I feel, but it's where you go from now. And the choice is yours, not my choice. And so he's on this journey, as we currently see. And his father's new wife, because she was that in the picture, she had posted some things on Facebook. And with the young lady talking to D, my children and quite other people were saying, what's, rah, woo, woo, woo. And I just glanced. But the thing that I thought, I said, she just doesn't know because she was not in the know. She's only going to buy what she's heard. And I am openly before everybody, including those that are attached to me and those that know her. I don't have a war with her. I don't have a beef with her. I don't even know her. But a lot of times we can't get into our own feelings and feel a certain way. And very much Black women, I know at 57, I'm very protective of my children. I'm like a lion when it comes to my grandchildren, Martin. You already know that.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to learn how to love one another. And respect is the key element. Respect. I don't know Miss D. I don't know none of the other people. I never met you all. But I respect how you are. I respect what you stand for. And I respect you as my sister. Or some of them young ones to be my children because my oldest is 38. So, but I love all of you all. It is good to have conversations like this because we never know what or how each other are feeling, and we don't want to be at war. We got enough already dealing with trying to live in this world that God created for us to be in. But I appreciate Miss D. Continue to encourage one another and continue to bless one another, not curse one another, not threaten to take their life. Love covers a multitude of faults. It really does. And that's what I go by. And I appreciate this kind of topic so we can be able to encourage one another.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Sanders. I met D out west. I was at a event with Mark Carter. And when I heard her stood up and start speaking, I just handed my phone. I said, "Put your number in there." I'm allowed to tell the truth, D. I'm telling
No,
the truth.
that's how it happened.
That's
Yeah.
how it happened. I said, "Put your number in there." I said, "Listen, I got that." It was like, how a man look at a woman and say, "Man, I got to talk to her," but it wasn't no lustful thing. But I seen her smartness, her boldness, and that right there, I said, "I need her on my team. I need her." I tell you. And I said, "I'm not no creep now." She said, "I already know who you are, Martin." Okay. Yeah. But
No, you were nothing but a gentleman. You made sure that, what you saw in me is what your approach and how you did that is an example of how even older men should approach, young ladies. I think that's a great example to use because you didn't make me feel uncomfortable. You were really talking shop, but at the same time, I'm an adult, and you gave me like respectful compliments of my maturity and how smart I was. I didn't feel like you was like eating me up in the conversation, which is what some men do. You literally gave me my respect above my neck, and that's hard to come by sometimes. When man and woman are having dialect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I tell you, this is. I tell you what, the Dr. Sanders right here. I'm probably one of the only men could call a house at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and a husband hand me the phone. That's just how much love we have. Seriously, because we bond.
That's good.
And Dr. Sanders, tell her how me and you met.
Oh man, we have talked.
It was on a crime scene, though. It was on a crime scene.
Oh yeah, and every time a crime scene we pass by one, or if there's an ambulance or an accident, I let Martin know, hey, this is what's happening. I snap the picture, I put it on Facebook, check on your people, because there are so many things going on in this city. We really got to pray for this city. And when I get in contact with Martin, I think he's the only one I can reach out like that to. And hey, Martin, this is what's going on. or if we're talking, grown folk conversation, we can have that. Nothing is, wrong with that. And a lot of people, even in the church, don't understand that you can have good friendship, good brotherhood, and don't have no relationship. Everybody not trying to get in the bed with you.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am.
That's
And
right.
I stand on it, and I always, to this very day, and Martin, I'm not saying it because y'all don't hear. I talk about Martin all the time. I let them know, oh no, that's my brother, and the ground says, and they know how to deter that conversation because they don't know which way I'm going to go. But then they'll say, I heard how you can go. Yeah, I can go that way if I want to. It's my choice. But when you're good people, I will defend you to the fall. That's just how I am.
Yes, ma'am.
I never met my
Yes, ma'am.
never met him talk to him on the phone. But if something go down, guarantee you, I will defend him. That's how I am. That's how I am.
Yeah.
That's how I am. Because I love God's people. I don't like foolishness. But I love God's people, and I will tell you it's foolishness. But I'm going to let you know how the Word of God says. So I want people to understand that we got to get along. We got to get along. We must. We don't have nothing else.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Seriously. We seem to be, at the bottom of everybody's totem pole, except being black is at the top of mine. If you black, you on a pedestal in my life.
Right.
Yes, I do treat you differently. Yes, you can get something extra from me. Yes, I will do something free for you. And if you're not, then it might come with a price tag, and I'm intentional about where and how I, live in my blackness. I get my nails done by a black girl, get my hair done by a black girl. I make my own clothes sometimes, but most of my shopping comes from the black boutiques. I try my best to circulate my money in what looks like me. And that's my personal commitment to me, showing my people how much I love them, is to make sure I direct all of the money I can is to my black people, and I start small. We don't have to do it major, but we have a $4 trillion buying power, and we've never decided to make sure we levied that for anything, for people to make sure we have access to capital at scale, so black is always going to be first for me.
All right. I love being black.
I love being black.
Ooh, I can say that.
I love it.
I love it. And it just, you know what, when I say that, sometimes the Bible, as a man thinking in his heart, so is he. You have to think this stuff. You have to see the power of life and death is in the tongue. These are principles we must practice, and we become that. It's almost like this. You can see a person walk down the street, in your mind, you can say she look like a 304, more like she bite. You might see another person walk down the street and you say, hey, he look like he's a drug addict or alcoholic. You see a person right there, oh, that person like they smart. It's different. You can see different things on people. Yeah, I'm judging, but you can see certain things on people, and that's what it is. And when you see potential, when I see potential, I like to go right at it. Potential right there. Boom. And like I said, Dr. Sanders, I was telling Ms. D, there's no other platform that I know of that they allow anybody just to call in without screening. The platform is open. And the only thing that I ask on here, that we respect each other, hear each other out. Now, we may not agree.
That's it.
Just let's hear each other out and don't call each other names.
Yep.
That's what makes the world the way it is, because how would it look if we all agreed on the same thing and just have no opinion, no view? We were bodies. And to have all of the same thing, we're going to, okay, then that's just nothing. You know what I mean? We all look the same. We all dress the same. That would not be any type of color to what the picture really is about. So, if everybody else can do it, why can't we do it? Even when the kids come up to the clinic with their parents or grandparents, and they're black. You know what I say? I asked them, I said, so tell me what you got for Christmas. And the first thing they're going to say, y'all, Oh, I got an Xbox. Well, I got a PlayStation. And then, oh, I got 5 or 6 games. I said, okay, good. Now, how about training somebody, teach somebody else how to do it and make you some money? Oh, because they can show somebody else how to be a gamer. You want to make and put that money back into not only yourself but into helping other people. And the little kids, they like, well, how do I do that? Because kids love money too, y'all. You know they do.
Absolutely. And I think, one of the things that Martin and I always indulge in is the amount of respect that we both have for one another, from two different generations. That, this is also an example that our community needs to see. Like Auntie Tiffany that called in the other day. I still call her Auntie Tiffany. I hope she's listening tonight. They done rescheduled your delivery for Thursday too, Auntie Tiffany. I forgot to text you earlier, but she called in the other day. She was a single mom, and I appreciate her, because sometimes people like myself that don't have children, a lot of people tell us that we don't know what we're talking about. And common sense is free. A lot of what we suggest is common sense, in parenting. It's not to say that because I don't have a child, I've never experienced parenting or been around parents, or I wasn't a child that was herself, or that experienced what parenting looks like. But I will tell you that we are also the aunties and uncles that babysit those kids when those parents need a break. So at some point, we experience part of your parenting and relationships with these youth and children. And part of the biggest disrespect is when we're told we don't know anything about parenting because we haven't physically given birth to children. But in the same breath, those parents turn around and ask those non-parents to be babysitters. You can trust me with babysitting your child, but not have constructive criticism to make them a better child. And I have to be able to speak to that as an auntie.
That's deep. That's deep. I never looked at it like that. That's deep. That's deep. That is deep.
You know what, Aunt Martin, she's saying something that's very true, because my late aunt, when I was a little girl, brought me to church all the time, taught me some things. And she never had any children. She was not blessed to have children, but she dedicated her time and her life to God and helping others. But as an auntie, she was my mother. And even though my mom was, with me, but there were some things that auntie gave me that was so constructive for me, And I shared this before with Pastor Sanders. I said, listen, your sisters need to know how to be aunties. And aunties do not hurt the parent. They don't fight the parent. They don't go off and talk to the children about their mother. You don't say negative things about the parents as an auntie or an uncle, because you are like second in command. I'm from old school, so everybody may have a different concept with that. But aunties and uncles, they played a very important part in the child's life. They give them that structure as well, in addition to what that parent gives. And that's why it's so important to know that aunties, are very important, and uncles are too, because they teach you the right thing. They reinforce what you've been taught, and in addition, add more to it. That's how they do it.
Yep.
Okay. All right, Miss D, what do you think? We'll
Agreed.
close
I
out.
agree totally with you on that one. You said
Miss
what,
D,
Martin?
are you tired? You good?
Okay.
You got some more
I'm
energy
here.
in you?
No, I'm okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
you
I'm
okay? Well,
okay.
we can keep rolling.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm
Okay,
okay.
we keep rolling.
I was just really digesting. I'm still digesting that last video, honestly.
Oh
I'm still
wow.
digesting
Yeah.
that because, to take away the truth from the youth, to take away the truth from a child, that's a different level of deceit, because that means you don't even care about giving them access to their own happiness and controlling their own destiny. You started their whole life off with a lie. So now they have to recant and relive and rethink about. Imagine your mind that you grew up with this negative perception for 20 odd years, and now at 20 odd years old, I have to peel all of that away. I have to find a way to peel all of that away and still look at this sex, which is female, and still have trust for them when the one female that gave life to me lied to me. Imagine what that can do to trust issues for both the man and the woman child that had to experience that lifetime of that lie. Like our kids don't deserve that, because then the future has to deal with them as an adult, an unfinished and unhealed adult. And then when you find out what the child goes through, you can't necessarily be all the way mad at them, because technically the mama effed them up. Now this young man is mentally screwed for the next decade of his life, because now he has to unlive 26 plus 20 odd years of a lie. That means all this anger that I had built up from this lie against this person wasn't even real. So how do I place this misplaced anger? Who do I give it to? How do I healthily get rid of that anger? Because the person I trusted the most with me lied about it.
Ooh, we got a caller. Hey, caller. 6557. You're live, uncut, unedited. Caller.
Hey, Martin. Hey, Miss D and Dr. Sanders. How's everybody today?
This Keena Nicole.
This is Keena Nicole.
Oh, yeah, I know that voice. That's my favorite name, y'all. Keena Nicole. Hey, listen, I ain't never seen Keena Nicole a day in my life, but that name right there, Keena Nicole. Go ahead, Keena.
Okay, so I just want to say, I know you was getting ready to end the live, but I had to call in.
Okay,
get off work at 9, so I was rushing to get on. Okay. When Miss D was talking, listen, I went through so many transformations. It was not funny. I was a little kid. I was a teenager, an adult, before kids, after I had kids. She just made me relive my whole life, okay? And again, I say to anybody, to thy own self be true. It's like, if you think about, okay, it's no book on parenting, that's true. But if you know that you did some stuff, you got to keep it 100 with yourself. Like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have did that this way. Nothing wrong with going and talking to your kids like, listen, I don't get it right all the time. I'm trying. On this situation here, I messed up. Going forward, we can't do this. We got to do that. And Martin, I'm telling you, I felt so convicted in my spirit, and I'm like, hey, the healing is coming forth. You understand? And I'm grateful for this podcast on this night. I love your podcast all the time, but tonight, I'm like, in the new year, when we starting to do new stuff, I feel like the blooms are blooming, they're budding, about to blossom. She touched some people, whether they even admit it or not. I called in to tell her she touched me. Okay? It was good.
I'm so grateful for that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you know, and you know what? This is part 2. I don't know if you was on here for part 1 when we had the other day, a couple of days ago. And this is, wow. It's just dynamite. And we need this type of healing and type of dialogue, these conversations, you know. And I tell people, you don't know what you'll get when you come to Martin G. Johnson page. You just don't know. And I get mad, Miss D, when people try to limit me to crime. All they want to see is a dead body on the ground, somebody shot. They don't want to hear nothing else. I can have someone here about some housing, how to get a housing loan or repair your credit or how not to get evicted. 2 or 3 people on here. Or if it's some gossip, they love that. They love it. Violence. They just love it. People, we need healing. We're sick. We're sick. Not all of us, but we're sick, people.
Yes.
We're sick.
I was
We
sick at
say
one
one,
point.
yeah. We say one thing, Miss D, but we do another. We talk God,
Yeah.
but we live the devil.
Yep.
We live them.
Yep.
We have so much hate toward one another. And it's real, people. It's real. I appreciate you coming on here, sister. Don't stop. Hey, just keep, because we need this. I need this. I'm not in the clear because I'm the host. I need this. I need another perspective. And that's what I tell people on this platform. If you're going to come on this platform, only thing that I ask you to do to be respectful, hear people out. Everybody can't express themselves in 1 minute.
Yeah.
Some people need 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Some people a little hesitant. So we all operate. We on different levels.
It's not
we have to be
easy
patient.
speaking your truth to the world. It's not easy at all.
That's it. That is it. That is so. It's not. Kenny Nicole, you
Hey,
said.
Martin.
Go ahead.
I was looking at the comments before I called in. I can't remember who said it, but I do touch and agree. They were saying that Ms. D should go into the schools and talk to the younger people.
Yeah.
Oh, now y'all pushing me out there now,
huh?
Hey, Miss A.
No, because think about it.
Go ahead.
Think about it. You have some kids where the only truth they get is at school because home life is awful. You know what I'm saying? And if by chance they run into a Miss D, that could be a turnaround where they make that decision later, like, you know what, I'm going to put this gun down and I'm going to pick up my book. All because I remember what Ms. D said, you never know. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. And I've had people that watched it that knew my voice, and they called me and they was like, I heard what you said, and I've been wanting to tell, people that what they, sometimes when they say stuff to me, it's offensive. What I am learning is that a lot of what I feel is the voice for so many women who have been kind of sheltered with their voice. And a lot of what Martin is doing is being the communicator for men who sometimes it's hard for them to get their point across to women. We are actually now being a positive outlets for our community versus the negative dialect that is being, ostracized everywhere to describe what Black love is, when we really, the true essence of it, both sides actually love the heck out of each other. And this platform and what we are doing is to present that, to counteract all of these, fallacies that there isn't any Black love out here, when all I grew up seeing and all I continue to see is Black love surrounding me. So I think that we have a chance, just even intergenerationally, from moms, having you guys come in and bless me. Most of the time, the treatment that I've gotten from older women and generations, Martin, you was at that meeting where you met me. You heard what them older women was saying. If she'd got her what they call me, little young immature A out the room, having women of older age call in and love on me. Y'all healing me generationally. Y'all healing some things that I didn't think was possible with women of that age group. So having you guys kind of call in and love on me like this, it gives me, the energy to come back on here and share my truths and be the change that, we need to see. So I'm grateful for women like you and men that call in, that just hear me, and listen and understand that I'm not here to be of judgment. I'm just here to be a safe space for all of us. And some of what I'm saying might not touch everybody, but if it touches one person, that we can be better people to one another, then my job here on this earth is being done. That's my purpose.
That's beautiful. That and that's what it's going to take. We got to have an open dialogue and be honest with people. It's all about healing. Nobody's trying to bust nobody upside the head or male badge or female badge. So we got to learn how to accept the truth, though. That's the call-in number on the screen, people. The call-in number 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389. Call in. Sister, I appreciate you coming. I told you over and over and over. Come on in. We need to hear from you. Trust me. We need to hear from, because and you know, Kenny Nicole, on this platform, we could be brutal. We could be brutal.
Oh yeah.
You know it. Listen, I see some of these same folks that praise me every day. They'll turn around and go at me. But hey, I know how to handle them. I know how to handle them. We got another caller too. They just called in. Give a minute to listen to the prompts.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, 1669. 1669. You're live on Cut Unedited.
Hey, what up, Mark?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Mark, this is the coach. I ain't called in a long time.
Man, where you been, man?
Man, I spoke to you when you walked past my door. I wondered if y'all was marching in Innsbruck.
I didn't know that was you. You got to tell me. Listen. I know y'all voices. I don't go on y'all pages and be snooping and going through your pages. I just recognize y'all voice, brother. And I'm very approachable. So you can, if you that say, hey, Martin, I'm the coach. You can always tell me, man. I'm not like that, brother. Trust me. What you see is what you get. The way I am on the internet, I'm in private. I'm in my private life. Now, I don't put all my business on the internet. I do have some things that I don't share with the internet. But basically, I'm approachable, brother. So go ahead, coach.
Right,
go ahead.
I just say that was me by saying that to go talk to the kids at the school. Because for me to work in the school, I see, like, especially young females, they are calling out for help. And they are really, they need a female to talk to. Because it's some of the stuff, like, for example, they don't trust talking to their parents, because I be hearing, like, some kids be like, I tell my mama this, but she'll go out and go tell this dude, and then the dude will come, and now my mama and my real daddy getting into it. It's a whole lot. So I feel like if Ms. D could go inside the schools and, like, talk to the kids, try to get a better outcome.
But right now, she's talking to us grown folks.
I would love, I used to do that here on the West Side. I used to go in and take not just myself, but other millennials and men and women, and we just be on a panel and we let the kids question us. And we learned so much from that process. Maybe that's something that I can revamp on a bigger scale. Because I can see the restrictions coming now from the school. Anything that leads to us empowering our kids becomes with some type of doors. But brother, I appreciate you making that suggestion in any way, even if it's me coming out and speaking to some students, or I take them out to lunch. Kids love to eat. And I sit down and I kind of have dialect. On my block, they call me Mama D anyway, or Miss Landlady. And when I'm angry, they call me the mouse off Tom and Jerry, because I come walking down that street ready to fuss at someone. And I'm young, but I have an old soul, and I just respect everybody. And I would love to be able to speak wherever I'm received, humbly, at any time. If any of you have a suggestion or have a room, reach out to Martin. And we'll show up, and I'll come and have whatever dialect, because this is really about healing, and it's going to take us to save us, and it's going to take a village of us to do it. So if it starts with one conversation that leads to 1 million, then let's get to having those conversations with our youth so we can hear what they need to heal too.
Oh, great.
So I will so the 8th grade graduation will be at Bay. I will talk to my principal and see, would you be able to, like, come up to the school and speak to the 8th graders before they leave?
Absolutely. Whatever you come up with, however I can be of service to our youth, I'm willing to support you with that, brother. Just, let Martin know how you need to use me. Just don't misuse me, but let him know how you need to use me, and I'll be there.
All right.
Now. Tell the truth. And shame.
I love being black.
What I want.
Tell the truth.
And what?
And shame the devil.
All right, people. Any more callers? We still here. She's still with us. Come on now. She said use her, but don't misuse her. She's still here. And listen, this is what I want you guys to do. There's 2 things I need you guys to do tonight. If you thought that this podcast was nice tonight, type in yes. Do me a favor. Did you learn something? Just say yes. Yes, because it was touching. Yes. Type in that in the message. Give our dear sisters some support. You know, I want to motivate her to keep coming back. Hit yes. Both males and females, yes. Trust me. Like Keena Nicole said, she took her back from a baby to a teenager and to adult. And it's real talk. Real talk. The sister did it. She in the hot 30s. And listen, she could be doing it. She could be enjoying her life, doing other things outside, coming on this platform. You know?
I really like gardening, guys. I just want to let y'all know that. I feel like I'm a cowgirl in my past life.
Okay. All right now. All right. They type in yes. If you feel like that this podcast was great with Miss D, type in yes. Do that for me. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. Hit the like button for me, please, dude. Hit the like button. Tell you, this is real. See, they showing you love, Miss D. You see.
And Martin.
I appreciate
go ahead,
you
Keena Nicole.
guys.
Go ahead, Keena.
And I was going to say she touched me too because I'm like, kindred spirit, she's my fellow Leo sister.
Okay.
Hey,
I'm
girl.
like, it's something about a Leo.
Hey, girl.
It's something about a Leo. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I don't know. She did something to me today.
Right.
I'm reevaluating some stuff, Martin. I'm just saying.
And you know what? She did something to me too, because we talk, and she made me look at women different. Because you know, man, we do that pillow talk, and I'm gonna tell you, she said some things that touched me, and I'm like, man, I gotta redo this. I tell you, I got to redo this.
And Martin, I'm a female, and I'm saying I got to redo some stuff.
Well, hey, we all could use
Me
them.
too. When I did my speak the other day, I went and listened to it. It made me cry because I didn't realize how affected, I love Black men to the core of me. And I didn't realize how much they had hurt me over the years. And I still love them. I still forgave them, and I still have grace for them. And I didn't realize how much, that had hurt me until I had regurgitated it back to the world and realized, like, man, Black men, you did a number on this sister, and she still loves you, So it took some self-reflecting for me to start understanding, who I am and what I have to offer this world. As far as I was a child born on love. So like since day one, my family will tell you, I've been saying I love you to everybody, especially when you're Black. Like, I see you, I'm like, I love you. And people are like, what's wrong with this child? And I'm like, I don't know. I've been like this my entire life. My friends will tell you, if Danita don't tell you one thing, she gonna tell you she loves you, because everybody deserves to hear that. The word love and the action, the meaning of it, not just that I say it, I show you I love you, and that don't mean that all the time I'm gonna like you. But I'm always going to love you, which means I'm going to always have your best interests at heart. And I mean that. And when people experience me, I'm true to my soul, and I may be tough at times, because I can see that you can do better, and I'm going to hold you accountable, both men and women, but it's all out of love.
Out of love.
It's all out of love. Mr. Kenneth Watkins, I never believe in loving the wrong person. I believe in people not being able to receive love from the right person. See, you can never love wrong when your intentions are pure, but people can know how not to receive that love and take it for granted. So the loss isn't on the person who gives the love. The loss is on the person who doesn't know how to receive it. So we have to begin to take back the power of love and what it does for people, and to remember that energy is something that can never be created or destroyed, but transferred. So if I keep the energy of love, even in disappointment, even in lack of trust, even in lack of consistency, I still have a foundation of love for myself that I can internalize and I can go to from my safe space, because we all need that for ourselves. We need to find a safe space for us, and love has to be it, because when you have love, there is nothing that you can combat with it. There is nothing created on this earth that has the matter to compete with love. And I always go back to that with myself, even when I'm flawed, even when I'm angry, even when I'm frustrated. I go back to love, because then that humbles me, that grounds me, and that reminds me of my purpose of why I'm here.
That's the truth. I tell you, where can you find this on the internet, people? Where can you find an open dialogue that's not staged, that's not a skit? This is real. This is real. If y'all don't think this is real, come on, just watch. That's all I invite you to come over here and watch me for about an hour, 30 minutes, and whatever, and watch what we do over here. This is real.
Yeah.
This is real. We helping folks that look like us. We helping other people and other races to understand us. We
I like
killing.
this comment that Ronnie wrote. You
Go
read
ahead.
Ronnie comment?
Yeah, read it.
Well, he wrote 3 of them. Now they keep going too fast.
Okay, hold on. I'll put it up.
It says all of it is about hard work and dedication, and never give up on one another. Y'all ancestors came a long way for everyone to be where they are today. And that is so true, Ronnie. You know, our children need to be reminded of what our ancestors went through for love and marriage and dedication. They came out of slavery as millionaires and built Black Wall Street because they did it together. They didn't give up on one another. They believed in the dream of Black love and Black family and Black legacy. We've watched so many generations of Black love still be in existence, and we fight against that. If I've seen anything, I haven't seen anything more pure than the Black love. And when I hear couples that have grown in love together and they talk about how they had to get through it together, that's what creates the rock. That creates the memories. That creates the stories. That creates the when kids get to come up and mama and daddy get to sit around, you get to hear those stories about what they went through to build the world and build the life that we get to experience with much more grace than they did today. Life is much more easier today than it was back then, but we've made it harder to love today than it was back then. Imagine that our ancestors went through all of that love. Men went through castration. Black women went through molestation, rape, mutilation, and still found and had love in their heart for the man they loved that was torn from them. Probably states away, families torn apart, and they stayed dedicated to one another on one slave camp to another and didn't give up on each other. And here it is, we running away from a quick argument. We can't even stay in adversity with one another because we don't know how to communicate.
You helping us. You helping us. You definitely helping us. Everybody hit that like button. You definitely helping us.
I
Hit the
just
like button.
I want us to believe in love again. I want it's real. And don't poop on anybody who does, because you haven't gotten to the point. You know, Martin, you and I, we talk about that too. You be like, Danita, you're willing to try love again out here after all of this hurt. And you will too. And it's going to happen through experiences like this, because there are going to be a lot more women like me to chime in, to show men on what they need to continue to believe in, that love is tried and true. I will never stop believing in love.
That's it. The scripture said love covers a multitude of sins. So it helps, I tell you. And if we love each other, we won't be too quick to cheat on one another. We won't be too quick to kill one another. We'll suffer along with each other. We'll be there for one another. You know, and we need that. That's what we're missing. That number one ingredient, love.
Who wants to die alone? Like,
That's
let's
true.
be honest. Who wants to die alone? Because ultimately, that is what we will do. I don't want to die alone. I want me a Black man that I can have in this world and work towards everything that we believe in and that he sees for our family. And women, we have to get back on track with understanding that once you go out here and you figure out what you want and you live your best life, it's time for you now to align with a man to lead that family, baby. Because I'm gonna tell you now, I'm ready. You think I didn't work? I worked hard, and I own all of this so that I can make life easier for the man that's coming to lead my life, not to make it easier for myself to do everything. Y'all done lost y'all mind. No, it is for the man that is certified for that position to step up and to lead, and for me to have something that I bring to the table so that it is not an empty table. If he's going to go buy the groceries, then I'm going to make sure the table is set. And guess what? My building and the things I own, that's me putting the placemat on the table. And if as a woman, you are not ready for that, then you are ready to live your life with dogs and cats. Because I'm not. Somebody needs to be ready. But this is the thing on the other end. We don't have any men ready to take that lead. So it's far more of us single because men are not in the place to step to the table to serve the food. I can have all the plates and the dishes and the placemats, the cups and everything on the table. But because women are so bailing these young men out so much that they don't even know what it is to stay strong and 10 toes down in a conversation with a woman in 2024. They're walking away from a conversation that's too tough for them. Oh, I don't have to take this. I work. I'm a good man. No adversity. They think a woman holding them accountable is interrupting their peace. That's the delusion that a lot of women have to deal with this new age man. So we talk about the new age woman, but this delusion of the new age man, because he was raised mostly by women, key factor. Because they were raised mostly
Tell
by
the truth
women.
and shame the devil.
We have a bunch of emotional wrecks out here. Women can say whatever they want, and yup, your son may not be disrespectful. Soon as he get in a relationship, he don't know how to deal with his emotions with a real woman. Soon as he get in a relationship and I make more money, now it's a problem because he don't know how to work as a team. Or lack of communication. Or that's okay, I could go back to my mama house. She gonna bail me out.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Woo. It's tight, but it's right. I tell you. It's tight, but it's right. Sister, you said a mouthful. You want to end it right now? Hey.
Look, I have to date them men. They better go on. I'm stuck dating them. You know what I mean? They better leave us alone out here. We gotta date them sons y'all out here protecting. You know, y'all breed the bad men that we talking about. Cause my mama done met 6 of my girlfriends and ain't told one yet. All of them her babies. Or my cousin. That's my hey fave. I don't want no family member that refer to me as a fave. That means it's somebody to compare me to. I'm the fave of who? That means it's options. You know? So yeah, it's women condone a lot of what these men do. We house the men and they second ladies. You know what I mean? You know, we house it and then we complain about the production of it. Because if you doing it, then guess what? Your daughter dating another household that's doing it. So it's coming back tenfold every time. So if you okaying your son to be able to have multiple women come through there like a grocery store and a revolving door, then where's the accountability for him as a man? Because you are a woman first. So you didn't even set the boundaries as a mother to say, I'm not even going to allow that in my house. You could date outside my house. But when you come home, I want to see one woman. Nobody said not to allow him to date. It's the boundaries that these mothers typically don't have for their son, that they allow them all of this nesting to do all of these, create all these bad habits and think a real woman gonna take it in the real world. No, I'd rather be alone with them dogs and cats. And that's what we're seeing. So it's an exchange on both sides. And I hear people say, I've met with a bunch of men who say women are not serious and they don't want. What women they meeting? And where they going to go find them? Because again, if you continue to go after the same type of woman and expect a different result, then the problem isn't the woman. It's your lack of effort and research on the choice. Men don't put effort in when they choose either, and sit on here and be like, oh my God, she a 304. Well, you didn't know that with the 6 other people that she was with. But then you get on Facebook and you mesh all women together because you made a bad choice on that one woman or those several women with the same habits, with the same mannerisms. Women don't want a good man. Well, we can say the same on the side of men who keep choosing wrong. Yes, women to me who consistently go after men who show habits that they can't be consistent or committed, that I'm not out here feeling sorry, because why do you keep on going that way? What they say, you put your hand on the fire once, it'll burn you, and you keep putting it back, then the lesson on you. Stop putting your hand in the fire, sis. It's gonna burn you every time. And sister, stop condoning bad habits of toxic women. Teach her how to walk away. I don't need to get physical with a man because he don't want me. If I brought and done everything that I did to the table, my walk away gonna hurt you more than these hands will. Me leaving you with yourself and the lack of all of this great woman, that's what's gonna hit you in 3 weeks. Up front, he gonna be on Facebook and be the biggest man ever. But when them 3 weeks hit in and that good woman that you were, you're not gonna be the one indulging, sister. You're gonna be on your trail to healing. Stop giving that man the energy he don't deserve, and give it to yourself, and give it to your child, and give it to the community, and give it to femininity. Find what's feminine to you, and stop trying to deflect that on another woman who doesn't want to be strong like you, because I don't want to be strong like y'all. I want to stay in my femininity. You can have it. You can have independency. My daddy didn't raise me to be independent. My daddy raised me to be self-sufficient. That means I can do it without a man, but I don't want to.
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
Ooh, girl, we having church tonight, ain't it? I'm gonna have to pass around the collection.
It's a lot. Women deal with a lot too. I know it's some mamas out here doing some bad things and making some bad decisions, but men got to stop chasing tail too. You got to stop chasing tail. It got to be some accountability. We got to do research on one another. We got to ask the necessary questions. Far too many times as women, we're afraid to ask the questions. Not me. You get along with your kids? What kind of relationship did you have with your mother? How about your father? Okay, what kind of relationship? What do you believe in family? Do you want to be a husband? We're not even asking those questions anymore. We just having sex and then finding out he don't even want no kids. What you sleeping with him for?
True.
What you sleeping with him for? And when you find out, and if he's not telling the truth, cut him off. Let his mama deal with him. Like, what are your core values? Like, how do you align yourself? Like, can I trust you? Can your kids trust you? Have you ever been convicted of molestation? Have you ever been accused of that? Asking those, both men and women. I think far too less we don't ask the woman about molestation. Ask what's necessary.
Say don't assume nothing, huh?
No, ask everything, because the assumption is what leads to disappointment. Stop assuming. It's not somebody else's job to answer your assumptions. No, it's your job to do the research necessary to get the answers that you need to have the requirement to move forward. So it's, and let me say this, stop thinking that because, women are good, that we got to deserve the one-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater. That's not fair either. Stop thinking that a woman has to settle with less than because she's a good woman and we just need to settle with a man. No, that's not, I don't want to, come on, men get to have a preference on beauty, but not women. No. I want somebody that is living to live. These men out here, your belly down past your knees, that mean you now I'm gonna be pushing you in a wheelchair? No. Courtship needs to matter. When I enter in anything with a man, we court each other. I need to know what your natural habits are, because I know what I'm worth. I know all of this value over here. What are your natural habits? What do you do when I don't answer your phone call? If I'm too busy to get back to you, what's going to be your natural reaction to me? Those are things I'm looking out for. How do you treat your mother? How do you talk to women? Do you pray? Is it okay to pray together? Do you want to build a family? Or is this just something that you want as casual? Because most of the time men will answer that question, be like, well, I want to see how this flow. The moment a man says, I want to see how it flow, I'm out the door. Because he don't know what he wants. A grown man knows what he wants. These boys out here, well, I'm going to go with the flow. Ain't no flow. What you mean? Rivers flow. What's happening is a lot of us women do have our dads in our lives, and this cockamamie stuff that they're using as excuses as to why they don't want to be consistent as a man is why they are walking away and coming up with these other things. Now, they are right on a lot of topics when it comes to women. Yes, they are, and I have not denied that. But we definitely not going to deny the fact that a lot of men don't want to step up because they don't want to be consistent. They don't want to be held accountable. They want it easy. And as I said, they could keep saying that the women ain't nothing. Somebody's still giving them $40. Hold these men accountable. Make sure that they earn the right to be laying down with you. Make sure you know yourself and you love yourself enough. And nobody's perfect. We've had sex. I'm not out here. That's not what this conversation is, baby. Sex is a beautiful thing when done right. It is an amazing process when done right. But far too many times do we lead with sex versus getting to know one another. And now we got emotions involved. And the whole time, I didn't even know you beat women in your spare time. Or I didn't even know that you call the police on men when y'all have an argument. People don't, and you know what, Ella? I've had men no longer talk to me because I asked them about my chart. What's your HIV status? Do you have any STDs? That shouldn't be offensive. Why should that be offensive? It is for me to protect my temple. I'm God body. And that's how a man should be. You should be able to stand 10 toes down when you approach a woman, man. Don't come to me and you ain't got yourself together. And you know I got mine together. And now your feelings hurt because you feel inadequate, but you knew better before you did the approach. You knew better. You knew you didn't have your ducks in a row to lead this household. Because what a man does, he sees a house and he makes it a home. What a boy does is he sees a house and he want to move in under the woman. No, we're not doing that. We need to build men to lead households, to run families, to build legacies so that women can do what we are supposed to do to make the home better.
It's quiet as church mouth on here, boy. You talking, sister. I'm sitting back and just let you do what you do.
These is usually our conversations.
I know. Seriously, these are our conversations, people. Trust me.
And on both sides, do we, shallow date, I've dated shallow. I've dated just for looks. And then I've learned to date for substance. But I'm going to tell you this. I don't want nobody that look like the bottom of a shoe either. And I'm just being honest. I want to be able to, and this is what I mean. You can have a beautiful feature on yourself and I will love you like the most beautiful man in the world. But do not think because I am a good woman, I have to settle for an ogre to be happy in this world. I'd rather be alone. And that's not fair because men get to have their picks and their chooses, and they look. I look at the heart, but if I can't look at the face for too long, I got to be honest with myself about that, sister. I'm just being honest, and I ain't being mean to nobody. There's a certain level of ugly I could take. And I mean, and I don't mean to say ugly. I mean, not attractive, the best word to use for that. And I'm just being honest and I'm just being transparent, I'm a beautiful young lady. I put work in to be beautiful. I want the same effort from my man. That means when you get up and get out that bed, your face ain't got to be like Tyson or Tyrese. What I'm saying is put some effort that, man, he got a beautiful smile. Oh, I love the fact that my man work out every day to tone himself up. That means he's working out to be here for me. Those things, they matter. And if we say they don't, that's why people are cheating. That's why people have secret lives, because we are not being honest. No, nothing black is ugly, but everything ain't easy on the eyes, Mr. Watkins. We gonna be honest with one another. We ain't gonna live in no fantasy here. And handsome don't mean just looks. It can be your mannerisms. It could definitely be your mannerisms. He says, I tell my son that you don't find a girlfriend and make her a wife. You find a wife and you make her a wife. And that's exactly what my mother taught me.
Mm-hmm.
A girlfriend doesn't become a wife. A wife becomes a wife.
He that found a wife found a good thing.
Yes. Yes.
That's what he said in that order. He that found a wife found a good thing.
Yes.
Not a girlfriend, but a wife.
Miss Lisa Love would need to, he gonna give you the number right now, Miss Love. Tell her the number again.
Okay, I'll say it. Call in number 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389. Again, call in number 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389. All right, Lisa. That's
well, by the time they come in, remember I told you about the incident of somebody not wanting to date me because I wanted to hire a housekeeper.
Yeah.
So sisters, let's talk about that, right? I met someone and we got to the point where he understood, and the thing that he didn't like was that I hired a housekeeper. I work, and I do a lot of work in the community, and I was trying to get him to understand that as long as I can make sure that the house is clean and full of peace for you when you get home, how I went about doing that shouldn't have been a priority of his. If I wasn't cheating, I was loyal, nurturing, and brought peace to that house to complete it and make it a home. I had the money to pay for the person to be there. It didn't come out of our household. That was what I can bring to the table. And that was the make or break of, that particular relationship, was because he felt like the cleaning should have came directly from me. And I'm going to tell you now, if that's what you're looking for, you know what, you're right. I'm not old school enough and I'm probably not that person for you. But my dad, since I was a kid, has known that I've learned how to utilize money as an asset, not a liability. And that's how I utilize it in my life. And that's how I utilize it in my relationship to make things easier for the both of us. Because that's one less stressor on my plate that I get to rub your back, rub your feet. And I say, I'm tired after all of this. No, I've yielded enough money in my life to be able to say, well, I want somebody to clean the house for both of us so that I could be perky like a dog when you come in, and I think he missed his beat. That's all.
You got to be in line for your blessing. So sometimes you won't be in position for your blessing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You got to be prepared for your opportunity. Yeah. When opportunity presents itself. All right, Lisa, where you at? 872-299-0808. Yeah. The line's open. It's posted. Yeah.
I guess I would like to know how men feel about that. Just genuinely, like, because if I'm being voted no on all the men, and they're like, "No, don't do that, sister. Don't do that, sister." I'm like, man, like, why? Give me something. Give me some feedback about it, like, because I've been like that since I was a kid, learning how to ante up, my A's and my B's for my allowance to, make life an asset versus a liability to myself.
Well, I started off. I mean, keeping the house clean. Yeah, I mean, it's just like a woman that go in the kitchen to cook. Instead of, once you get through using one pot, wash it out right then and there. Once you finish cooking your whatever you was cooking, instead of just letting it pile up end of the day. I mean, it's certain things you do. You know, like me being a bastard or something like that. I may have a lot of dust. I just need dust and stuff dust off because everything is going to be in place. Everything in place. So it is what it is. I mean, everybody's household is not ran the same. Let me say that.
Yeah.
You got some men that would not wash a dish. Then you got some men that won't cook. They feel like it's a woman's place. Then you got some men that love to cook.
Yeah.
You got some women feel like, well, I ain't taking out no garbage. Then you got some women do take out the garbage. You got some women say, hey, I'm not shoveling no snow. Then you do have some women that shovel. It depends on what works for your household, period. So what worked for yours may not work for mine.
Yeah, because I cook. I grew up with my grandmother teaching me, how to cook. My mother teaching me in college how to cook for myself, how to cook meals from scratch and cleaning behind myself. But I'm a working woman. And let me say that again, like he's out working and can't get there to do the things. There's no such thing as clean as you go when you gone. So on the major things, absolutely, I do call somebody to do that because it makes life easier for me and the person that I get to give all of my great energy to versus me working my butt off, coming home and doing all of those things. I don't have children to take up that slack. You know what I mean? And not to say people use their children to take up that slack, but I don't have those options. I still need a clean house though. You know what I mean? I still need to have a place of peace that when he comes in, it smells like an aroma of love. And if I have to hire somebody to come in to do that because I'm out working. Now, if it's a man that's going to make my life easy to say, baby, come in, kick your feet up and be a housewife, then that's completely different. Then let's talk about that. But how many men are ready to do that? That's the bigger conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes the man is too exhausted to come in if he coming home and do and ask to do all of these things. No, if I can alleviate that stress from him and from me, I'm going to do just that because then I'm going to have the energy to do all of the small things to make him feel loved. That's rubbing his back. That's listening to his day at work, vice versa, him listening to my day at work, me cooking a meal. And the only thing I have to do is clean behind what I cook. That's a different type of energy to have in your house. And I watched that for, generations of married couple of how they put that stress on each other when they both were working because it was needed for both of them to work. And that was a necessity for the household at the time. That caused a lot of unnecessary stress because she didn't have the energy to do it. He needed it done for peace. So then why can't we work together as a team? And if I'm blessed enough to be able to provide this extra amenity to our house where it doesn't hurt us financially in any way, and it offers us a moment to relax and be of love and peace to each other, then why don't we make those decisions?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. It is true. That is true, boys. All right, people. That's it. That's it. Where you at, Lisa? I put the number on the board and
Poor Miss Lisa, because I'm getting sleepy, Miss Lisa. You got about a good. You want to do a 20-second countdown for you, Miss Lisa? Love you. Put that number up there one more time so she could get her last
it's
try.
up there.
She said it's going too fast.
Okay.
I'm going to say it real slow. 872-299-0808. 872-299-0808.
0808. Then I'm going to bed, Miss Love. I love you. I love your last name, Lisa Love, but I'm gonna go to sleep on you.
All right. Miss Sylvia said she talks good stuff, but it does not apply to simple family in the hood.
I'm from the hood. I live in the hood. My family is the hood. So it applies directly. It might not apply to you, Miss Sylvia. You're right. But for so many other people who've called in, it applied to them. So maybe from your perspective, it doesn't apply to you in the culture in the way that you were raised and how you guys live. But it's applied to a lot of people who called in today and testified and called in to say that. So, maybe my perspective is not your perspective, but I don't think it's fair to say that I'm wrong. And it's not fair. And I would never say that you're wrong from your experience of your perspective. What I would say is that that's just that, your perspective and your experience. Not everybody has the same perspective, and not everybody has the same experience. So I live in the hood. I own in the hood. I am the hood, baby. So and this example that I give you is the reason I'm giving you that is because far too many times do we think love is not there. And this does exist in the hood because I'm from the hood. I derive from a family that still stays and own in the hood too. So I think it's fair to say that it may not apply to you, but it does apply to a lot of other families in the hood.
Okay. And we're going to end at that note. All right. We're going to end it right there, sister. Miss D?
Yes.
That's it for me. You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. Tell the truth and shame the devil. I love being black.
I love being black. Love y'all.
All right.
Peace
Thank y'all
and
so
good
much.
night.